All right, chapter 6 is a chapter on transformations, so taking one shape and making it into something else. Lesson 1 specifically deals with translations. So before we get too far into it, let's go over a little bit of vocab when we talk about transformations. So it says a transformation is an operation that maps an original geometric figure called the pre-image. So it's just going to take a figure such as that. This is called the pre-image. This is something, the shape before you do anything to it, onto a new figure called the image. So if we're talking about translations today, which is basically a slide, it just means this is the pre-image, ABC, and you're taking it and sliding it so many units to the right. And so that's what that's called. This is a pre-image, this is an image. So before and after. A translation slides a figure from one position to another without turning it. So they could have taken it and taken every point and just slid every point the same number of units in one direction. They could also slide it to the right and then let's say up. So they can do so many to the right and then so many up for that triangle. Okay, so that's what a translation is, sliding. So with that being said, let's get on to translations. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so here on the first page, translations in the coordinate plane. So they are taking your pre-image, ABC, they are sliding it, translating it down and to the left. Now, notice on these, this is still triangle ABC, but you see a mark that looks like that, kind of a little apostrophe. You pronounce that as A prime. That's how we know that this one is the original and it was moved here rather than green being moved to blue. So anytime that you see this prime mark after it, like a little apostrophe, that means that is the second one, okay? So when translating a figure, every point on the pre-image is moved the same distance and in the same direction. So if they move this 1, 2 units down and 1, 2, 3, 3 units to the left, A is moved 1, 2 units down and 1, 2, 3 units to the left. C is 1, 2 units down, 1, 2, 3 to the left. So everything has to be the exact same. Okay, so going down here. Graph triangle JKL with vertices as follows. Then graph the image of JKL after a translation of 2 units to the right and 5 units down. So they are basically asking you to pick up JKL, pick up every one of those vertices and move it, where they say 2 units to the right. So 1, 2, and 5 units down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's how they get the new J prime. K, 1, 2 to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units down. L, 1, 2 to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units down. That is the same as that, and I probably should have used a different color maybe so that way you could see it a little bit better. But that was the original, and here's the translated version right there. Okay, so it's the same orientation, nothing's been flipped, rotated, turned, anything like that. You're just taking it and sliding it. How many ever points they say, 2 to the right and 5 units down. Make sure that you graph your original points correctly, because if your original ones aren't correct, your image afterwards, there's no way it could be correct. Okay, let's just try this one here real quick. We will do this one together. Graph the points. A, 4, -3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So that is point A. B is 0, 2. And C is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. So that's C. And they want you to translate it 4 to the left and 3 up. So let's get a different color here. We're going to pick up every point, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. 4 to the left and 5 up. This is our new B, so that is now B prime. C, 1, 2, 3, 4 to the Was it 4? Yep, 4 to the left, and 1, 2, 3 up. That is our new C prime. A, 1, 2, 3, 4 to the left, 1, 2, 3 up. That is our new, come on. Not liking me today. That's our new A prime. So if I were to connect those, that's the same image, same size, same orientation, just slid over. Okay, that's a translation in a nutshell. Just a slide. Okay, example 2 has to do with translation notation. All right, so it's not actually asking you to graph it, although you can. It says triangle XYZ, those are the 3 vertices. Find the vertices of triangle X prime, Y prime, Z prime, so that's the image after you move it, after a translation of 2 units to the left and 1 unit up. So if they are saying that it's 2 units to the left, what I want you to realize, which on the coordinate plane, the X or the Y, which one talks about going left and right? Left and right, that would of course be the X. And if you're talking about moving something up and down, that would be the Y. So if they say a translation of 2 units to the left, that means you're taking the X, and as you go to the left, are you subtracting 2 or adding 2? If you go to the left, you are subtracting 2. So that would be X minus 2. And on the Y, if you have Y's go up and down, 1 unit up, that would be Y, and would you add 1 to go up, or would you subtract 1 to go up? You would add 1. So basically what they are asking you to do is that you are being asked to subtract 2 from every X and add 1 to every Y. So you can just take and do the math that goes with it. Subtract 2 from an X means you're getting 2 smaller. So our new X would be negative 3. Add 1 to the Y, it would be negative 1. Negative 3, negative 1. Subtract 2 from the X, you would have 4. Add 1 to this, that would be a negative 2. Make sure you got your positives and negatives correct. Subtract 2 from here, 0. Add 1 to that, negative 4. That's how they are getting 0, negative 4, 4, negative 2, negative 3, negative 1. This is how it happens. Okay? So if this middle part here confuses you, you can just take and just subtract 2 from that, add 1 to that, subtract 2, add 1. Or if you would rather graph it, which I'm not really sure what this one looks like, but let's just say it looks like that. And if I'm going to move it to the left and 1 up, 2 to the left and 1 up, it may look something like this. All right, so if you want to graph it and then take each point and move it, you may do that as well. All right, so it's really up to you, whatever you wish to do. All right, let's look at got it. I want you to pause it and try got it, please, and then I'll come back and let you know what the new coordinates are. Okay, so under got it, it says quadrilateral ABCD has the following vertices. Find the vertices after a translation of 4 units to the right and 2 units down. So if it's going 4 units to the right, you're taking your X and adding 4 because it's going to the right, therefore it's getting bigger. And if it's going down, then it's Y minus 2. So I'm going to take every one of these, add 4 to the X. It's a 4, not a Y. Add 4 to the X and subtract 2 from the Y. So my A prime would be 4, negative 2. B prime, add 4 to my X's, that would be a 6. Subtract 2 from here, minus 2. C prime, add 4 to that, be 7. Subtract 2 from there, 7, 2. And the last one, D prime, that would be add 4 to my X's, so that would be a 4. Subtract 2 from my Y's, that will be a 2. Oops. Just 2, it's not negative 2, it's just 2. Okay, and that's as easy as that gets, right there. Okay, let's look down here at example 3. See what we got going on there. A computer image is being translated to create the illusion of movement. So use translation notation to describe the translation from point A to B. So look at A to B. What's happening here? So obviously it is going, right? It used to be on 3. It's now on 2. So what happened to it? The x's, we subtracted 1. And the y's, what happened to it? It used to be on 3 and it's now on 1. The y's, we subtracted 2. So when it says translation notation, this is what it's looking for. So I just want you to look and see what is going on here. So on our x's, how did the x's move from A to B? Well, it moved to the left 1. That's why it says x minus 1. That's what I had written up there originally. Y minus 2 is because the whole image, every point on it moved down 2. So this is it. It's not asking you to graph it. It's not asking you what certain vertices are. If it says use translation notation to describe it, it's wanting this right here. I just want the translation notation. All right. So I want you to try your hand at translation notation on the next page. All right. Try C. Pause it and try that, please. All right, if we're looking at translation notation, it says refer to figure in example 3. If point A was at 1, 5, point A, let's just say it used to be at 1, 5. So let's go back up here. And it's saying that point A used to be at 1, 5. What would it be? What's the translation notation to get to point B now? So it used to be at 1. Let's do the x's first. Used to be at 1. You know it's going which way? It used to be at 1. It's now at 2. So what did we do? We moved to the right 1 time. So we'd have to add 1. What happened to the x? If it used to, sorry, what happened to the y? It used to be at 5 on the y. It's now at 1. So what happened to it? It went down, so that's going to be a subtraction, and it went down 4. So our translation notation is going to be x plus 1, y minus 4. That's what we got. Okay, with that, that is the end of the lesson. I don't think translations are all that hard, so hopefully you won't find them hard either. But as always, if you have any kind of issues, let me know tomorrow. Good luck.